problem 4 class, the question here is how much is the NCI in the income of the subsidiary? Stated differently, how much is the share of the NCI in the income of the subsidiary? So here, parent owns 75% of the subsidiary. On July 1, 2017, subsidiary sold to parent a used computer at a loss of 12,000. The computer has a 5-year life from the date of the intercompany sale. Straight line depreciation will be used, and it has no salvage value. In year 2017, SAW had income of 100 and paid dividends of 60. So we're just looking for the share of the NCI class, but we know that we cannot rely on the 100,000 because there will be a needed adjustment on this 100,000. And here we have an intercompany transaction involving a depreciable asset, specifically a computer class. Compared to the other problems we have already solved, this one, the intercompany sale class, resulted in a loss. If you can recall, if it resulted in a gain, what would be the adjustment class? We remove the gain. And how do we remove a gain? By deducting the gain. Here, it results in a loss class. Okay, so what are we supposed to do? Remove the loss, because again, the loss does not exist in the eyes of the consolidated entity. So how do you remove a loss class? By adding back the amount of loss. Okay, but how is this 12,000 loss referred to, class? This would be referred to as an unrealized loss, because again, this loss does not exist yet in the eyes of the consolidated entity. So our adjustment would be number 1, to remove the loss. So we will have to add back the 12,000. Okay, but as I also told you before, you will have another source of loss adjustment, and that would be the amortization of your unrealized gain or loss. In our discussion before, if it resulted a gain, we remove the gain, and then we will also amortize the gain. And the adjustment to amortize the gain was to increase the income. And our explanation there was that we believe that the depreciation expense reported by the buying entity is overstated. So to correct that one, the consolidated entity will have to add the difference between the reported depreciation and the depreciation expense in the eyes of the consolidated entity. And as what we explained before, the difference in the depreciation expense is simply the amortization of the unrealized gain or loss. But again, since in this example, it is a loss class, then the loss now would be realized. The adjustment for the realized loss would not be an addition, but this time it would be a deduction. So over how many years are we going to amortize the unrealized loss class? The computer has a 5-year life. So 12,000 divided by 5, the annual amortization would have been 12 divided by 5, that is 2,400. But that will not be the adjustment here, class, because when did the intercompany transaction happen? July 1, at the middle of the year. So the difference in the depreciation expense will only be for the latter half of the year. So what do you do? Get 1/2 of the 2,400,000, and that will give you 1,200. So 100,000 reported income plus 12,000 unrealized loss minus realized loss of 1,200. The income, the adjusted income of the subsidiary would be 110,800. But that is not what we are looking for. What we are looking for is the share of the NCI. So all you have to do is to multiply the NCI percentage of 25% with the adjusted income of the subsidiary amounting to 110,800. So 110,800 times 25%, that will give us 27,700. Have you answered 17-5? Not yet. What's the question here? What amount should be included in the consolidated statement of financial position at December 31, 2017? So very simple rule here, class. It should be the amount in the eyes of the consolidated entity, not the amount transferred to the transferee. So what happened here? The intercompany sale happened in 2017. The selling price was 680,000. So what does this mean? In the books of the subsidiary, this will be recorded at 680. Paul, the parent, paid 1 million for this equipment, for which the depreciation to the date of sale totaled 360,000. So even though it was transferred to the subsidiary in 2017 class, there should be no change in the value in the eyes of the consolidated entity. So what value will be relevant in the eyes of the consolidated entity here? It will just be the 1 million and the 360. So at the date of intercompany sale, the carrying amount of the asset was 1 million minus 360. That is 640,000. Okay, but again, what's the question here? What amount should be included in the statement of financial position and accumulated depreciation? Okay, so we know that it will remain at 1 million and not at 680. So our answer here will either be Alpha or Charlie. But we already know, class, that Alpha is incorrect because the 360 was the accumulated depreciation as of start of 2017. And what is being asked here? End of 2017. So you will have to account for another year of depreciation. And how much is the annual depreciation in the eyes of the consolidated entity? The original cost was 1 million, and then you have a residual value or salvage value of 100. So the depreciable cost is 900 to be depreciated over 10 years. So the annual depreciation would be 90. So the additional depreciation in 2017 would be 90,000. So that means by the end of 2017, your accumulated depreciation would be 450,000. So the answer there would be Charlie. Next, 17-6. The excess allocated equipment is amortized over 20 years. What is the consolidated income reported by Susie? Okay. What do we have here? Parent owns 60%. Problem 17-6 is unusual kasi we are asked for the income reported. We're not asked for the adjusted income. We're asked for the income reported by Susie, which it purchased for 50,000 above the underlying book value of 720 on December 31, 2014. For the year 2017, Susie included in its income 90,000 of unrealized gain. On a year-end sale of depreciable assets to Pete, the NCI of Susie was assigned 12,000 of income. Okay? So basically, we're asked to work back, class. Normally, we'll be asked for the share of the NCI. And we will be given with the income reported by the subsidiary. Here, we are asked for the income reported by the subsidiary, and we are given with a share of the NCI. So all you have to do is to work back. If the share of the NCI, class, is 12,000 and the NCI percent ownership interest is 40%, what does that mean? That the adjusted income must be 12,000 divided by 40%. How much is 12,000 divided by 40%? 30,000. And how do we call the 30,000? That is the adjusted income. So how do we arrive at the income reported? If we have the adjusted income, we add back all the negative adjustments, deduct all the positive adjustments. And what adjustment do we have in this problem? There's an unrealized gain of 90, which would have been deducted from the income reported. So that means we'll have to add back this to the 30. And then does the problem say any excess allocated to the equipment? No, the problem does not mention of any excess allocated to equipment. So I think that will be our answer already, 120,000. Let's solve one more problem, class. My braces are poking my cheeks. Let's just solve one more problem. Palawan, what amount did Palawan pay Salu for the truck? I think we can solve this just from the entry, class. No, this is the eliminating entry. So if the original cost of the truck was 48,000 and it has accumulated depreciation of, I don't know, the original cost is not 48. The 48 would be the amount recognized, the amount that we will be increasing to arrive at the original cost. So what happened here? Sulu paid 100,000 for a truck with an expected life of 10 years with no residual value. Sulu sold the truck. So the original cost is 100 class, and then the accumulated depreciation is 57. When did the sale happen, class? Why are we eliminating the 57,000? With an expected life of 10 years with no residual value. So that means our annual depreciation was 10,000. 100,000 divided by 10. But you'll see there, class, that there is a credit to depreciation expense in the amount of 3,000. And as you should know by now, class, it's very unusual for you to see a credit to your depreciation expense. So basically, the purpose of that entry is to reduce your depreciation expense. So that means the amount recognized, class, the amount recognized by, who is the buyer here? Sulu? No, Sulu sold the truck to Palawan. So the buyer here is Palawan. So the amount recognized by Palawan as depreciation expense is greater than the amount that will be reported by the consolidated entity by 3,000. And what amount will be reported by the consolidated entity, class? It would be the 10,000. Okay, and then that means the depreciation expense reported was 13, but the correct amount is 10. Okay, by 2017, class, how many years is left? It was purchased in 2011. 2011, 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it has been depreciated for 6 years already. So the remaining life would be 4 years. So if you multiply 4 years by the depreciation of 13, class, how much is 13 by 4, class? 13,000 times 4. 52,000. Okay, so if your depreciation expense is 13,000 every year for 4 more years, that means the cost of the asset to you that does not have any residual value must be 52,000. Okay, so our answer there would be 52,000. I hope you understand how we got the 52,000. The depreciation expense was credited by 3,000. That means in the eyes of the consolidated entity, depreciation expense is overstated by 3,000. Okay, so if the correct amount of depreciation expense in the eyes of the consolidated entity is 10, and we know that it is overstated by 3, that means the depreciation expense reported by the buyer must be 13. And if the remaining useful life is 4, 13 times 4 will give you 52,000.